Hey, Ryan Webb here, and welcome to this video. I am on location in New Jersey in my childhood bedroom, recording between Christmas 2022 and New Year's 2023. And around this time of year, everyone's talking about goal setting for the new year. And I want to talk about my spin on goal setting. And it's something I like to dive into every year and to invite you into. And the way we're going to do that this year is through the lens of the 4 quarters of human design. And as you know, if you've come across this video, most likely the 4 quarters of human design are very linked to the exploration of your incarnation cross. And your incarnation cross is who you're here to be in this lifetime, the type of purpose that will move through you, that will naturally happen through you the more and more you live your design. And the way that purpose moves through you is very tied into one of the 4 quarters. So we'll explore all of that in this video. Real quick, I'm going to remind you that we're giving away a human design reading every 200 subscribers right now. The next one is coming up so close at 600 and then again at 800. All you've got to do to get your chance to win is subscribe to our channel, leave a comment on this video. The more videos you comment on, the more chances you'll have to win. We give the reading away to one random subscriber when we hit those marks. So I hope I get to do your reading. I'll talk more about this again at the end of the video. For now, let's dive in. The quarters are such an important topic, and around the context of goal setting, purpose, being a healthy person, having a healthy body, a healthy vessel for your purpose to move through, attaining career goals, starting your business or getting your business to a certain level or moving your career to a certain level, whatever your intentions or goals are, whenever you're watching this video. The spin on goal setting that I always encourage people into is moving from goal setting to goal aligning. Because no matter what your goal is, if you want to lose a certain amount of weight, get your business to a certain level, change careers, start a business, whatever it is, enter into a new kind of romantic relationship or improve your current romantic relationship, whatever the goal is, setting a goal is almost always setting yourself up for failure. Because if you haven't achieved a goal yet, if there's something you desire that doesn't exist in your life, the reason it doesn't exist in your life yet is because your inner world isn't aligned to it. So the goal aligning is about first align your inner world to where you want to be, so you remove resistance from your path, so that when you hit that goal, you actually can sustain that goal. Because what often happens is people will set a goal and work really hard, force their way through resistance to maybe reach the goal, maybe give up on the way, and then even if they hit the goal, revert back to where they were a few months later. This is what happened to me for years, or I had to really keep pushing against the resistance to stay there. Now, when you first align your inner world, align your beliefs, build the capacity of your nervous system, for example, to be able to hold more energy, to move more energy, for example, to have a healthier relationship that requires more energy, to navigate the fears and challenges and anxieties that come up when you're following your heart into a new career path, a new business or a promotion or whatever it is. That all requires more energy in your nervous system, and it requires unraveling the things in the way of that. And when we look through the lens of human design, the incarnation cross is pointing to this very exact thing. Your incarnation cross is pointing to the purpose that will naturally move through you, the energy that wants to move through you when your nervous system has the capacity to let it happen. And this, in a world that teaches us to try to control everything with our mind, think things through logically, there's a lot of nervous system and neurological patterning that blocks that purpose from happening. So the incarnation cross and the quarter. So the quarter, there's 4 quarters of human design. We'll talk about what that means in a second. Your incarnation cross starts in one of the 4 quarters, and whatever gate is in your personality sun position is the gate we're going to look at to where your incarnation cross starts. And the 4 quarters are really, really important. And these 4 quarters actually correspond to the 4 seasons. So let's look at these 4 quarters, and let's first look at the I Ching wheel of human design. That is an ancient wheel. This wheel is, the origins of this wheel date back 5,000 plus years to ancient China. And when the ancient Chinese philosophers were first really observing the wisdom of nature and putting it into these 64 archetypes. So when you are interpreting your chart, when you're interpreting your human design chart through the 64 gates, that wisdom is actually the wisdom that is based in the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. And it is the wisdom of nature, because you are inseparable from nature. Just like there were these 64 archetypal moments of nature, there are 64 codons in your DNA, and there are these 64 energetic gates distributed through your energy center. And around the human design chart, there's the astrological wheel that shows where where the planets were according to tropical astrology at the moment of your birth, the moment 88 days before, and then mapped to that is this ancient I Ching wheel. And this is one of two commonly used arrangements. This was the original arrangement of the hexagrams, and it is the Fu-Xi arrangement, F-U-X-I, and named after Fu-Xi. So the hexagrams are ordered in a very particular way, and they're ordered in 4 groupings. And those groupings are actually built into even smaller groupings. But the the 4 major groupings are based on the 4 seasons. So, for example, if we break up these 64 hexagrams into 4 quarters, what we get, if we look at the left quarter first, is the quarter that corresponds to the season of spring. And you'll see if we were to zoom in, if you want to look really closely at the screen, you can see that each hexagram in this quarter has the spring 2 lines on the bottom. So the full line on the bottom, and then the dashed line. All 16 of these hexagrams, these are the 16 hexagrams that have those 2 lines at the bottom of the hexagram. And then the 4 lines above that are what change. So each hexagram, by the way, is made up of 6 lines. So this spring energy is the foundation of this quarter. And you'll also see that the spring energy is made up of these 2 elements, fire and thunder. And 8 hexagrams have thunder at the bottom, and 8 hexagrams have fire at the bottom. And these elements think about thunder and fire. They're very arousing. They're arousing dormant energy, like spring is coming out of the dormant energy of winter and arousing it into action. And so this is the quarter of initiation. This is where things get started. And purpose for people whose personality sun gate is one of these 16 gates, your purpose is going to be fulfilled through the mind, through thinking, through educating, through conceptualizing, through explaining and sharing what it means to be in a body. So specifically, taking your mind and not pointing at trying to figure out your life or trying to figure out the world, but really using the power of your mind to describe and put to words what it means to be in a body, to live in this lifetime. Fine-tuning the mind so that you can help your mind surrender to being present in your body and moving through the world. Surrendering to the directives of the form. So this is what I want to invite you to. Have your chart open and look at what is the gate number in your personality sun gate. And then where does that lie in one of these 16 gates? And if so, your purpose will be fulfilled in this way. And again, this isn't something you're going to go do now. This is something that as you follow your strategy and authority, whatever type you are, whatever your authority is, to notice this, look out for it, look out for this theme. And if you're curious about your Incarnation cross, we have another video on the Incarnation cross that goes specifically into that cross. So the second quarter is in human design, the quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 are ordered. Actually, the next quarter 2, is called the quarter of civilization, technically, according to the channeled messaging, which would be the bottom quarter. But I like to talk about the quarters in the direction of the seasons. So the next one we're going to look at is the season of summer. And the season of summer is the top quarter. So the season of summer is all about mutation. And, this is the elements here are the lake and heaven. And if you think about the summer season, there is a lot of time spent around the lake, but also the summer season is about a lot of energy. A lot of energy happening, a lot of energy moving. There's networking events, barbecues, connecting, getting to know people, a lot of activity. And under the surface of the lake, there's a lot of activity. There's a lot of energy moving. There's a lot of life happening underneath the surface. And as well, the heaven element of the ancient I Ching, these 3 lines, are all about pure yang energy. A lot of, if you think about the energy in the skies, clouds, lightning, constant forces moving, the stars, the planets, so all of this energy that's happening, versus the as opposed to the earth, which is kind of giving birth to all this, holding all of this life, the life of humanity. So this summer energy, the 2 lines, these are a very yang energy. And if your personality sun is one of this 16 gates that has the hexagram with the 2 south lines at the bottom, then this is the quarter of mutation. And your purpose is going to move through you in a very particular way. Your full potential is going to be realized. This potential for transformation, the transformation that comes with the movement of energy in this summer, this summer kind of energy, and this awareness, self-awareness, the more you can reach that potential by accepting death and surrendering to exactly what life is, which is an unfolding, emerging moment that never ends. One big emerging moment. Allowing old versions of you, old beliefs to fall away, not getting attached to any one identity or any one belief system that you hold about yourself or the world, but allowing death and rebirth continuously. And that there will be a final death. Contemplating death is really important for someone whose personality sun lies in one of these 16 gates. Really trusting that if you contemplate death, you get to be fully alive here, and you can remove that fear of death, and allowing the possibility that a whole new experience begins after that. So the 3rd quarter, so as we move through, we move from the quarter of initiation in the order of the seasons, which again is a little bit different than how the numbering goes of the quarters. So technically the quarter of mutation is quarter 4, according to the channeled messaging, but we're looking at these themes in the order of the seasons. So as spring, initiating, it's like, imagine your soul enters your body. It's like the initiation of being in a body, and all of a sudden having a mind to think about being in a body and using your mind to talk about it, into the summer, which is about now moving through the world in your body and transforming and allowing yourself to die as you get older and move through different phases of life, to metaphorically die and be reborn again. And then there's the quarter of duality, which is the season of autumn as we move from summer into autumn. And the quarter of duality is all about relationship. And, it's now we're looking at not just your own inner journey with life and death and moving through cycles of life, but your relationship with others, and with being in this dual form, that you're no longer just in the melting pot of consciousness, in the mush of consciousness. You're now an aspect of consciousness is magnetized to this vehicle, and you're interacting with other vehicles, other people. So this is a purpose being fulfilled through bonding. So people whose personality sun lands in one of these 16 gates that has the autumn lines at the bottom of the hexagram, the yin line, the dashed yin line, followed by the yang line right above it. Your purpose is being fulfilled through bonding, through looking at and being with this need for others, need for community, need for tribe as a human that all humans have, and getting into the core and really being with and exploring the dual nature of what it means to be a human. That even though there is oneness, that we are all connected, that humanity is one giant organism, there is this interconnectedness that is so needed for the human heart. And exploring that, but remaining connected to the mystery of oneness, the mystery of consciousness, the mystery of the universe that we'll never quite fully be able to contemplate and understand with our linear logical mind. And the 2 elements here, wind and water. So it's allowing the coming out of the pure moving energy of heaven and lake in the summer, moving into the autumn, where the wind is gently coming back in, blowing, still blowing things, moving things around, but things are starting to slow down. The water, looking more at the still water, but also how water flows and moves around. There's this gentleness to wind and water, this gentle way that the wind, and also some fierceness too. Wind and water can both also be very destructive, but we're moving around obstacles. This is like where things get done and where we work together and collaborate and bond with each other to move things forward and to move around obstacles in ways we can't do alone. So this leads us to the fourth quarter. This is the quarter of civilization. And here we're looking at winter. And winter, the two yin lines. So this is the great womb. This is when for me right now, recording this right around the holidays in New Jersey in the United States, right between Christmas and New Year's 2022 into 2023, it's very cold. And the winter season is about letting things die, letting the leaves fall off the trees, letting things get a little bit barren and cold, creating space. It's yin energy. It's the big womb, the great womb, the space that's being created for new birth, new life to emerge in the spring. And that's why this is the quarter of civilization, because it's about how do you concretize, how do you bring and manifest into form what the mind has been thinking about, how the mind has been moving through transformation, through cycles and bonding with other people. How do you now take all of the concepts and bring them into form? How do you, in the cold, in the winter, how do we work together to build structures and communities that support the body to thrive and develop in more and more ways, in more and more circumstances, in a way that is also in honoring of the earth and honoring of the cosmos and honoring of greater purpose and in alignment with self and other. So it's creating these civilizations that will help us get through the winter, right? We're so blessed, in many of us, maybe you are, maybe you aren't watching this. If you're not, I hope you find a path to the same blessings and privilege that I have, with heat and structure and a roof over my head. And, thinking back thousands of years to our ancestors who didn't have all that, had to really think and prepare, and how our ancestors laid the groundwork for the civilization that we're living in now. So if your personality's sun falls in one of these 16 gates, then your purpose will be fulfilled through manifesting into form, civilization, and structures that will support your body and everyone's body to thrive and move their purpose through more easily. So again, these quarters are kind of themes, energies, like how, yes, as the world is moving through the seasons, your purpose will move through you with one of these four seasonal energies more than the others. Now, your incarnation cross, everyone's incarnation cross, has one gate in each quarter. So if we look at the whole picture here, the Incarnation Cross, if you haven't watched the Incarnation Cross video, I had maybe pause this and watch that one real quick. The link should show up somewhere here, or you can go to the channel videos. But the four quarters, looking at them together here, when you look at your Incarnation Cross, the sun and the earth at the moment of your birth and the sun and the earth 88 days before form the shape of a cross. And so because it's a cross, every incarnation cross has one gate in each quarter. So there's a little bit of energy of all four seasons and how your purpose unfolds. But that personality sun is kind of where your incarnation cross begins. It's where the sun was located at the moment of your birth. So it's the moment you were incarnated on Earth to bring this purpose forward. And because 70% of the neutrinos in our solar system come from the star, it's a heavily weighted moment in time, a heavily weighted imprinting. So that gate has a lot of importance in how your purpose is designed to move through you. If you don't know what neutrinos are, check out the quantum physics video on this channel. It talks about all how your chart actually gets imprinted. So these four seasons, and because we are in wintertime, if you happen to be watching this between Christmas and New Year's, around or in winter, coming back to this idea of goal setting, the second piece to it is remembering that, at least in the United States and in many countries, business and kind of society goes by this January to December year, this calendar year. But winter doesn't stop on January 1st. So winter is a time of reflection, a time of introspection, a time of letting parts of you die, some of your leaves fall off the tree so new leaves can grow. It's a time of things getting cold and parts of you not making it through the winter, and that's okay. It's a time of grieving that and mourning that and creating space for newness. So letting go of some behaviors, letting go of some patterning, some nervous system habits that have kept you stuck in cycles you don't want to be in. Slowing down enough so that you can feel and be with those parts and hold them gently and compassionately in a compassionate, transformative fire as they burn away, fall away, and being and creating space. You don't need to figure out the new way to be. It's just to be with the parts of you that are ready to relax finally and take the pressure off their shoulders and not need to try to control everything so much, to create space for the newness of spring that's right around the corner. So, setting intentions, thinking about where you want to be, but instead of starting to take action on January 1st to get there, spend January and February aligning. Realize what goal you want to hit and realize what's in the way of getting you there. When I weighed 280 pounds, I didn't lose weight until I started really looking at what's in the way of me being healthier. And I was scared to be healthier. I was scared to be a societally acceptable, good-looking man. I was scared to be in my power because it wasn't always safe to be those things when I was a kid. So really starting to look at where wasn't it safe to be in your fullest expression, to be in your fullest power in your childhood, with your ancestry, and starting to really be with those parts of you and hold them and help them feel safer and help them realize that where it is safer now to be in that expression, you start to align your inner world, transmute some of those emotions, give yourself the space to be with them in this winter season, to realize that melancholy and sadness is not a bad thing. It's part of the mutation process, part of the transformation process of winter, and summer, and really all of seasons. Summer being the quarter of mutation, but we're always mutating, and the winter is a time to create the space so that when spring rolls around, you can initiate the next cycle, and in summer you can use that energy to really reach that full potential that you're creating the space for now. So don't rush into trying to force it and make it happen. Really honor the season we're in and work with it instead of against it. Hopefully this was a really helpful video. Hopefully you learned a lot about the quarters and you have a better sense of how to interpret your incarnation cross through the quarters. If you also want to understand the gates of your incarnation cross better, there's many channels on this video. There's a beginner's guide to gates and channels. There's also videos on all 3 different types of gates: individual gates, collective gates, and tribal gates. So those 4 videos alone will give you a really, really great start. So with all that said, if you are watching this in December 2022 or any December, I wish you a happy new year, as it's right around the corner. And any other time you're watching this, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for investing your time in this video. I hope you align to your design more and more and more. Follow your strategy and authority so that your purpose can move through you in the way it's naturally designed to. And remember to not try to do it. Just be who you're here to be. Follow the wisdom of your body, of your human design, and it will happen. You get to watch it happen and enjoy it happening. So just real quick again with the giveaway, giving the next reading, 2-hour human design reading with me, one-on-one, away at 600 subscribers, and then again at 800. All you have to do to enter: subscribe to our channel, leave a comment on this video, comment on as many videos as you want. The more you comment on, the more chances you'll have to win, as we will pick a random comment from a subscriber at these 200 subscriber marks to pick our random winner. And I've really loved getting to know people in the YouTube community and do readings for them. I hope I get to do one with you, and hope you're having a beautiful day.